feel it's only appropriate with these two to wrap them.
You're very good.
Ivana and Miles have not only been a part of this fight, but look at them. They are the absolute image of true love. And that, to me, is what this fight is at the center of this fight. So, Madonna, Miles, I have so much respect and so much love for you. And in the short time that I've known you, I've had the opportunity to learn so much from you. And the amount of work and the amount of energy and prayers that you have offered to the community and that has outreached the entire world is phenomenal, and I am so grateful. And there's all these young people, Bobby Jean and all these guys in the front who I know are going to now continue to be able to live a good life and to pass all of this fight down because of what you've started at the Sacred Stone Camp and what's going on at Standing Rock. So Chimigwich for fighting for our water, all water. It's an honor to have you here. Chimigwich.
Thank everybody for being here. I want to tell you that these two young girls here, when they first came, I was very suspicious. I was very suspicious of them. I was very suspicious of people. I did not know who I can trust. But when we took them out to the buffalo kill, and they got in, and they butchered that buffalo, and ate that liver, I said, okay, these girls are all right. So, I just wanted to say that. You know, as I watch this, it's really hard. It's really hard because none of this is about me. None of it. It's about these young people. It's about Bobby Jean who stood up to run. It's about all these people who came to stand in the front lines. It's about these young girls who came to do this movie. It's about the people. It's about all of our people who sat in Alcatraz and Wounded Knee to teach us how to do these things. It's about standing up. I have to say, you know, watching this, I was really apprehensive. I didn't know what to think. I was a little, maybe upset at the ending. Because we're still standing. And we will not back down. And even as we face everything, there were 16 more arrests the last 3 days. They are still attacking. And as my daughter told me here yesterday, she said, Mom, they must be really mad. They're not even aiming, they're just shooting at us now. It is not over. One of the things that I see is because our eyes in the ground, our eyes in the sky are gone. They have shot down all of our drones. Because we no longer have the media standing with us. They are becoming more vicious. But we will continue to stand. We have a long legacy. And I remember when all of this was going on and I came back, I was tired, I'm always tired, and my husband said, they don't know what they did. They woke up a giant and it's not going back to sleep again. And so this has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with these young people. You see these young people sitting out here? You see them? You honor them. Because I have seen them go through some hard times. I have seen them hurt. I have seen them maced. And I have seen them stand up again and again. I just thank them. I don't know what the coming days are going to bring. Everybody asks me, what are you going to do when the new president comes in? I said, nothing. because he is no different than George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson. He is no different than any other American president who attacked my people. We already know what we face. The difference is we're going to face it, standing up right in front of them. They are not going to forget they killed us again.
I think this is a good moment to bring up the water protectors that featured in the film. We know who you are. Please come up. Please join us. We have Steve, Nick, and Tammy, Bobby Jean, Romy.
Yeah. Well, why don't we open it up to the audience for questions? Does anybody have any questions? Can't see very well. Anyone? Yeah, blue t-shirt.
Yeah, how do we best support, how do we best stay informed?
How do we best stay informed? How do we best support? Bobby Jean.
Right now, one of the things that I learned from the young people, not us, is their ability to understand social media. It is through what they taught us about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It is about their knowledge of this kind of technology that we've been able to get the word out. Right now, there are multiple sites, websites, Facebook pages, Twitter, Instagram, that is talking about Oak Flats, that is talking about the mountain in Hawaii, that is talking about Line 3. It's talking about Texas and Louisiana and every place else that everybody is standing up. I ask everybody to take a vested interest and do some research, because there is a lot happening on this land. How can you help? First and foremost, you can come stand with us. If you cannot do that, send your prayers. Prayers are powerful. And if you cannot do that, send us money.
I would just add to that, divest, take your money out of the banks that are funding these projects, and tell them why you're taking your money out, because that's a powerful statement.
Hello? Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh. I know we just sat down, but can you all stand up? This is like the very first step that you could ever do to support, to be there for one another, to stand up for yourself, for anything that you ever went through in your own life, whatever your families went through. Today in this age, it's not about what color of our skin is, how much money we have, what kind of car we drive. Standing up like this every morning, this is what it's about. If you want to be supportive, this is what you should do. Make your own standing rock in your own home. Start it worldwide. It's already worldwide now. We never would have thought it would have got this big. And all we did was just stand up. We said enough was enough. Our history Our history has divided us so much. And we can change it. It's not the presidents of the United States. It's not. They're just the same as us. At the end of the day, we're all just human beings. This is what we need to do. And if you guys got something out of this film, that little fire in your heart, go start that somewhere else. Put that fire in someone else's heart. Bring that change in your home. Help people understand that, and really at the end of the day, we all need water to survive. This is all our fight right now. Without water, we won't exist. This planet will not exist. Right now we're in like this pivotal moment in our lifetime that we're the generation that can bring this change throughout the entire world. We can stop the wars. We can really do all that. It's really possible. I'm just another Native girl trying to make it out. I come from a community of 200 people. I see and I watch young kids that want to do big things that come from my small community. They're the ones that inspired me. Yeah, all of us went through some trauma. But it doesn't mean that we don't have a voice anymore. When you stand up, when you wake up, the first thing that you do is stand up. That's exactly what you need to do every single day. And my daughter, now that I'm a mom, that's what I have to do every day for her. For my grandchildren that are not even born yet. For my great-grandchildren, for their grandchildren, for your guys' grandchildren. We're all at a different age right now, but we can say that we've seen this in our lifetime. And I really do believe that our ancestors are here with us. There was this moment in time when we were running, there was like these horses out in the pasture, and they just seen us running, and just like in the video, they came up to the fence and they started running with us. How do you explain stuff like that? There was this dog that ran like 10 miles with us. And when he had to use the bathroom, he would go on the side road, use the bathroom, come catch up with us. I don't know why he was running with us, but he was. Just little crazy things, it's a miracle to me. But every single day when you wake up, this is what you need to do. There's so many things that we can do to change this world. And I hope that this video, this film inspires a lot of people around the world. That they really see the truth that all of us are living in, because all of us are a part of it. No matter where you're from around the world, this is all of our history. It's not just Native American history, it's not Caucasian history, it's not a single race history. This is all of our history. And we can change that. I really do believe that. You guys kiss it down now.
You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I got a bad ear on this side. And I lost a standing rock. I got an ear and a half left. But this here really took me back to, well, first of all, Bobby talked about being traumatized. Well, that's from the Catholics, the missionaries, what they have done to us. So I go back to all of that. And then, I know shed a couple of tears there, which is good. I kind of act like I haven't really known it, but there was some tears there. Because it took me back to Alcatraz, then to Wounded Knee, and then to Standing Rock, to here I am to Utah now. This is nice. I want to thank all of you. But if there's one thing in my journey, it's always been the youth and the elders that kept me going, that gave me the wisdom, that taught me how to be proud and to stand up. And the greatest one that I learned is called respect. And if you ain't got that for yourself, how do you expect to respect anybody that you come in contact with? You know? So I've learned all these things in life. The people that I've met, those of you that are in there, those of you up there, I want to thank you. Because you have made me even stronger than I don't think you even know, to continue on for another 20, if I could make another 20, which I'll be 85. It's not easy, for us as indigenous people, and I honestly believe that maybe the Creator made it this way so that we would show Him how strong we are, that the people that He has put on this earth, that we would have to say, the people, like I always said, that try to wipe us off the face of this earth, your ancestors, some of you out there, but we're going to save you, to save ourselves, to save all of us, our children, the unborn. Then we will stand strong again. And coming to Standing Rock in the beginning, I always did say, even like Wounded Knee, Alcatraz, because there's a lot of spiritual power that has woken me up, and all of us. But when I came to Standing Rock, as the same as Wounded Knee, I was reborn again. Coming here, I'm reborn again. Talking to you, yeah. So I tell everybody that when you cross that river, Cannonball River, you leave that other behind you, because you come in to wake the world up, to wake yourself up, and you decolonize. That's the toughest thing I'm having. I've been doing it for a long time, and I still ain't fully decolonized. It takes a long time, but I find myself where I'm going and what I'm fighting for. Not just for an Indian country, but for the world, the nation of the world, for the universe, for everything that exists on this planet, the Creator has created. We will have to all be there in order to save the world. We are the world. People that are the saved, we are part of that world. And I want to thank you again, each and one, and one special guest over here, Michelle, that confronted me about doing this. I'm like what she said. I kind of checked her out too, She asking me all these questions, But I'm thankful that she did, because now I got to tell the story. I got to share it with the world, and share it with each and every one of you. So you take my words, you take my heart, and you share it with everybody. And tell them we shall remain. And this is from where I come from. The Black Hills are still not for sale. Aho!
I just want to relate back to that question was asked, how can you help? One of the important things that America needs to understand is that federal land belongs to all Americans, which means that everybody from every state has a say in regards to what happens to federal land. So what I've learned across this country, just because you live in Maine or New York, doesn't mean you have a say what's happening in the West. And so the educational process is really important, that people need to learn about how the government was formed and what it stands for and how it could be protected. Because how you can help is basically asking your congressional leaders, your Senate, your House, about their positions about NEPA and the Environmental Act and the religious part of the Constitution. Because your leader in your state will have to advocate to you their position on it. And then on top of that, you learn Native issues that are happening in each state and how it affects. Because from there, you can begin to make your move and your position within the United States Congress. But if you don't do any of that, then you're behind the scenes and you're not in front to improve the United States, like what we're all doing here. So we've already opened the doors, but we need you to step forward, because you have direct contact with your state leaders. And those are important things, because in Arizona, I find people don't even know what the administrative process is. They don't even know what NEPA is. They don't even know where the laws lack teeth. And if the United States can wake up, then those people you elect can make the difference. And especially now with our new administration that we have in the presidency, it's not just us now. We're all under attack. So that's something that you need to step forward, and that's how you could get involved quickly. And I encourage you to do that, because then you will learn about America itself, of what we've been fighting. And again, as I said, you're colonized too. And that's one thing that we all have to wake up to, because we know that this could be a better country. We could set an example in the world because of what we have together. But if not, we're going to blow all of that God gave us to this earth. So I think that's one thing that you could really do that's really important. Learn who your congressional people is, learn where your state stands, and then Congress itself. That's what will get you rolling about the negligence about America. Thank you.
We only have a couple more minutes. Who's going to go first? This guy's got 2 hands up already.
I know. I have to do that. I'm sorry. Because this is really important, I think. I wanted to ask Michelle, and I'm really overwhelmed by the film. But the fact that indigenous people were documenting their own stories and is having that space for this. I was filming there myself, and I was there for a long time. And it just shook me that, the media will come in and come out without really caring, but for people to actually stay there. How do you think this is important for us to keep doing this and to get support doing this? Not just like, Standing Rock, but the next fight.
I think that, I know for me, I'm really tired of seeing Indigenous stories told by non-Indigenous people. We're past that, we're way past that. We have to be telling our own stories because we bring something to it. We bring our perspective and our hearts in a way that I think you have to come from the community to come from that place, And we have people who are skilled at doing that. So there's no reason anyone else has to do that, And so I just want to say, Josue's made my life, you made my life amazing in the camp. You were a friend, a friend and a colleague. And it's like when we support each other as Indigenous people, because being an Indigenous person documenting these stories wasn't always easy. I felt that sometimes I got backlash or suspicions in a way that maybe a white filmmaker didn't. And in that way I thought, oh man, we have so much further to go. But if we support each other as Indigenous people to tell our stories collectively and know that we have the ability to do that, and come to each other's films and work on each other's projects and really work together to make these films happen, then we're gonna persevere and we're gonna have a life beyond that, I don't know if that answered your question, but that's my take on it, but I'm sure you have a thought on it too.
Well, I think my thought on it is just praise for you, Michelle.
Yeah!
I had the opportunity to spend a year traveling to the frontline communities with you, and there definitely were moments when what we were doing was not only intact by Indigenous people towards us, but we were also attacked for being women, telling these stories.
Yeah.
And we were attacked by people who call themselves warriors as women on the front lines. And I want to acknowledge that Michelle was unwavering in her commitment to tell and to continue to tell this story and these stories, no matter what opposition we came up against. And there are people in this room who I also want to acknowledge who were on the front lines, who had our backs, who made this work possible. Because in those moments when things get so tough, when it's a war zone, when people can't trust anyone, sometimes all it takes is one person to stand behind you and let you know to keep going. And for me, that person was Michelle. And I know there are people in this room who were that person, those people, for us. And that's how we continue to move forward, is by facing all of that opposition, seeing what it is, acknowledging that it is part of our healing as Indigenous people to come up to that, to face it, and to overcome. And then what you have, even though people say that it might not be what you think it will be, if you commit to it, then it ends up like this film and these films. And it is the voice from the community. But had we stopped when people said we weren't doing the right thing, none of this would have ever happened. So I'm really, really grateful for people who persevere, and for the women who have had our back, and for the men who have stood against other men to have our back as women to make this film. And then, to add to that, I'm going to grab this little drink.